Last week. All right, good evening and welcome to the April 15th, 2025 meeting of the Hickory City Council, better known as Tax Day, I guess. If you haven't done your taxes by now, it's probably too late. Just wait till next year. But anyway, welcome. And at this time, I would like to invite the Reverend Sandy Hood from Peace United Church of Christ Carolina Caring to the podium for our invocation. I would ask that if you're able to please stand for the invocation and remain standing after the invocation for the Pledge of Allegiance. Sandy, thank you for being here this evening.
Absolutely. Let us pray. God of yesterday, God of today, and God of all of our tomorrows, we thank you for the opportunity that we have to gather this day. We thank you, God, that you are abundant in your love and your care for us. And so we ask that you help us to hear your call to care for others. I pray for this council, that they might be wise and discerning. And God, I pray for our city. May we all rally together as community to make a difference in this world. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Councilman Severs joining us, and Councilman Zagaroli will not be with us this evening. He's recovering from some surgery, but he's doing well. We have several special presentations this evening, and I'm going to go in the order that's on the agenda here, no particular order. The first one that we would like to have a special presentation for would be Lineman Appreciation Proclamation, and we have some very special guests with us this evening for each of these presentations, I think, but for the Lineman Appreciation Proclamation, we have with us the Duke Energy President of Utility Operations in North Carolina, Ms. Kendall Bowman, and also with her is Robin Nicholson. Of course, Robin is the Government and Community Relations District Manager for Duke Energy, and I'm pretty sure we have a lineman representative. We have two lineman representatives. Well, all right, we'll introduce them here. I'll let you introduce them here just shortly, but I'm going to go up to the podium now, and we'll have all four of you come up. And Robin, I'll let you do the honors of introducing who these gentlemen are here, maybe tell them a little bit about them and where they're from. Then I'll do the proclamation. How's that?
That's fine. Seth is one of our senior linemen, and he's been a lineman for a number of years, not always with Duke Energy, unfortunately. They're trying to save a life. Seth is from Alexander County and a graduate of Caldwell Community College line worker program. And then Dominique is from Burke County. He is a brand new lineman at Duke Energy. He's been with us about a month. And in fact, I've not met him from mine, so it's my pleasure to meet him. But Dominique is from, like I said, Burke County, and he's also a graduate of the Caldwell Community College line worker program. So these guys are out there each and every day doing what it takes to keep the power on and to make sure that your service is continuing.
Well, and I got to say this because I'm thinking it. Have y'all ever heard the Glenn Campbell song?
Oh, gosh.
One of the linemen for the county. Is that y'all's theme song?
It's good.
Well, as this proclamation is going to allude to in just a second, we all realize how important power and electricity and having that in our houses and in our businesses, and we don't notice it like everything else until we're without it. And then, we kind of take it for granted, and then when we're out, we're like, well, where are they? Why isn't my power on? They're driving down the road, why ain't got power on yet? So I'm sure we've all experienced that from time to time, but we want to take this opportunity to tell you. And I understand that there are some female, so we've got to change it. There's this line person now, because they were telling me earlier that they do have some female line persons. So we appreciate all that each and every one of you do. We want to take this opportunity to give you some recognition for that. This proclamation says, whereas on April the 10th, 2013, a resolution was passed in the United States Senate to recognize April 18th, and I'm getting ready to fuss at it, so I'm not using the mic, and Debbie will fuss at me. All right, Debbie, I got the mic now. Whereas the profession of the electrical line worker is steeped in personal, family, and professional tradition. Whereas line workers are often first responders during storms and other catastrophic events, working to make the scene safe for other public safety officials and to expedite the return of vital electrical power to our communities. And whereas these brave men and women work with thousands of volts of electricity high atop power lines 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, risking and sometimes losing their lives to keep electricity flowing. And whereas line workers are often faced with dangerous conditions far from their families as they work to construct and maintain energy infrastructure throughout the state of North Carolina and the United States. Whereas line workers must use their technological knowledge and physical strength and ingenuity to achieve success and challenges they face every day. Whereas the city of Hickory thanks these skilled and heroic line workers who brave hurricanes, ice storms, snowstorms, floods, and other national disasters to maintain our community's energy grid. Now, therefore, I, Hank Guest, Mayor of the City of Hickory, North Carolina, on behalf of the Hickory City Council, do hereby proclaim Friday, April the 18th, 2025, as Line Worker Appreciation Day in the City of Hickory, dated the 15th day of April, 2025. And I'm going to let you have it. It's for them.
It's for them.
It's for them. Is there anything you'd like to say?
I just want to say thank you to these guys.
Right.
We all lived through Hurricane Helene and talk about first responders and heroes right along with the rest of the first responders. I mean, what a humanitarian effort. So thank you for everything you do every day.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
We appreciate that very much. All right. All right. Next up is for our telecommunicators. So if I'll ask Captain Westgarden and Summer and her co-crew if they'll come up. Our telecommunicators, of course, work out of our police department, and that's another group of individuals who also work 24/7, 365. That's right, Chief. Y'all come on up here with them. And they're the first people that you talk to in those emergency situations. They're the first ones that hear what's going on, and they're able to dispatch and decide the proper protocol for dispatching and who needs to go. And certainly, we want to thank them for the job that they do. And again, it's 24/7, 365. They always, there's somebody there when you call 911, or in our case, if you call the 328-5551 line, there's always somebody there. And that's the public end of it. But then the officers, of course, they depend on them just as well to be able to be responsive to their immediate needs when they need it. Because when they call in on that radio, they need an immediate response, and they need somebody there that knows what they're doing. So we appreciate them as well. And so I'm going to read this proclamation for National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. It says, whereas emergencies requiring police, fire, or emergency medical service can occur at any time, whereas during emergency situations, prompt response from first responders is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the information obtained and disseminated by the Hickory Police Department Communications Center directly affects the safety of our police officers responding to emergency situations. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most crucial contact our citizens have with emergency services, and public safety telecommunicators are the direct lifeline to our first responders by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them with information, and ensuring their safety. Whereas public safety telecommunicators of the Hickory Police Department have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals and assistance to the citizens of Hickory. Whereas each telecommunicator, while faced with extreme stressors of the job, continue to exhibit professionalism, accountability, compassion, and teamwork during the performance of their job in the past year. Now therefore, I, Hank Guest, Mayor of the City of Hickory, on behalf of the Hickory City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of April 13th through the 19th, 2025, to be National Public Safety Telecommunications Week in the City of Hickory in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe. Proclaim this 15th day of April, 2025. All right. And of course, they're not all able to be here. This is just a small representation, but oh, you got them up on the screen. Okay, they're all up on the screen. There's some of them working right now. Call if you don't believe me. Call and they'll answer. All right. All right. I'm gonna give this to you, ladies, and let you have that. And I don't know if you got a spokesperson, Catherine, or somebody. Chief.
So before y'all get back, I want to thank these telecommunicators. Each year, they handle over 135,000 telephone calls at our comm center and dispatch over 102,000 calls for service. We cannot do our job without all of these folks at the comm center. They really are the brain of the operation. Send us where we're supposed to go and get us help when we need it. So I want to thank you very much.
All right. Two more. All right, this is also Fair Housing Month, so I'll ask Dawn Kilby, the president of the Catawba Valley Association of Realtors, to come down, please. Dawn, are you by yourself? Okay. We all know how important housing is as well, not just housing, but having fair housing and how important that is to all of our communities, and we've certainly experienced that here in Catawba County and the surrounding metropolitan area. So we're all familiar with housing and how important it is to have fair housing available for everyone. So I want to read this proclamation. It's for the National Association of Realtors as we celebrate equal choice in housing. It says, whereas April 11th, 2025 marks the 57th anniversary of the passage of the Fair Housing Act, Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, as amended, which enunciates a national policy of fair housing without regard to race, color, religion, sex, handicap, national origin, and encourages fair housing opportunities for all. And whereas the Catawba Valley Association of Realtors is committed to highlight the Fair Housing Act by continuing to address discrimination in our community, to support programs that will educate the public about the right to equal housing opportunities, and to plan partnership efforts with other organizations to help assure all people their right to fair housing. Whereas the National Association of Realtors Code of Ethics commits all realtors to providing equal professional service without discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, handicap, sexual orientation, gender identity, and national origin. Now therefore, I, Hank Guest, Mayor of the City of Hickory, on behalf of the Hickory City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 as Fair Housing Month and ask the citizens of Hickory to join the Catawba Valley Association of Realtors in celebrating Fair Housing Month, reflecting on what has been done to eliminate housing discrimination and consider what more needs to be accomplished. This 15th day of April 2025. And I'll give it to you, Don.
Thank you very much.
Quite welcome. All right. And do you want to say anything?
Thank you all for your support of the Catawba Valley Association of Realtors and everything we're doing to try and ensure that all of our neighbors have an opportunity and a right to fair housing and be a homeowner. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. And as I said, these were in no particular order, so now I'm going to ask Sarah Green if she'll come up, and we're going to recognize our librarians and on National Library Day, which is actually tomorrow, I believe. Is that correct? No. Okay. All of them come on up. And I'll let you introduce your folks here. And once again, we are so lucky to have these folks. They don't necessarily work 365, 24/7, city of Hickory, not only to have one library, but we have two city libraries, and also, of course, we've got a couple county libraries as well. But there's not very many cities our size. She probably knows the statistics better than I do. There's not many cities our size that have two libraries. We're one of a few in North Carolina that I know of. So, again, we want to thank them for their service. Libraries of today aren't the same as what they were when most of us in this room grew up. They've changed quite a lot, and our library has certainly kept up with the changing in the times. So we recognize that, and we appreciate that as well. All right. It says National Library Week 2025. Whereas libraries spark creativity, fuel imagination, and inspire lifelong learning, offering a space where individuals of all ages can explore new ideas and be drawn to new possibilities. Whereas libraries serve as a vibrant community hub, connecting people with knowledge, technology, and resources while fostering civic engagement, critical thinking, and lifelong learning. Whereas libraries provide free and equitable access to books, digital tools, and innovative programming, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of background, have the support they need to learn, connect, and thrive. Whereas libraries partner with schools, businesses, and organizations, connecting the dots to maximize resources, increase efficiency, and expand access to essential services, strengthening the entire community. Whereas libraries empower job seekers, entrepreneurs, lifelong learners by providing access of resources, training, and opportunities that support career growth and economic success. Whereas libraries nurture young minds through story times, STEM programs, and literacy initiatives, fostering curiosity and a love of learning that lasts a lifetime. Whereas libraries protect the right to read, think, and explore without censorship, standing as champions of intellectual freedom and free expression. Whereas dedicated librarians and library workers provide welcoming spaces that inspire discovery, collaboration, and creativity for all. And whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers across the country are joining together to celebrate National Library Week under the theme, Drawn to the Library. Now therefore, I, Hank Guest, Mayor of the City of Hickory, on behalf of the Hickory City Council, proclaim April the 6th through the 12th, 2025 as National Library Week in the City of Hickory, and encourage all residents to visit their library, explore its resources, and celebrate all the ways that the library draws us together as a community. Dated this 15th day of April, 2025.
Wanted to share a little bit about the library and what we did during Library Week. What we did during National Library Week last week. So we celebrate every April National Library Week. It's a chance to highlight some of the services that libraries offer to our communities. So in addition to books and ebooks and computer access, we have opportunities for learning, creativity, and connection for everyone in the community. So we offer classes from Lego Club to hands-on classes for adults. We also, every year, one of the highlights of our National Library Week is our Friends of the Library children's art competition. The kids from K through 8, kindergarten through 8th grade, enter the competition, and one winner is chosen from each grade, and those are printed as our bookmarks for the year. We also this year hosted our first Hickory Literary Festival. On Saturday, we offered a wide range of activities at the Salt Block, children's art activities. The Art Museum hosted their Student Art Awards. We had author talks, writing workshops, and closed out the day. We had a performance from Hickory Ballet and Performing Arts, and then our concert with Lucky Diaz, who's a children's author musician. So it was a great day and a really exciting way to wrap up National Library Week. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. And I want to apologize. I forgot to introduce Belinda Setzer. Belinda is filling in for our city attorney, Tim Swanson, who couldn't be here this afternoon, so she's standing in for Tim. And if we have any legal matters, we'll refer them to Miss Belinda there. So thank you for being here in Tim's absence as well.
Happy to be here.
All right. All right. Item number 5 on our agenda is persons requesting to be heard. I don't have anyone that apparently no one signed up to speak this evening, but if you would like to address the council, we will certainly allow you an opportunity to be able to do that at this time. We just ask that you approach the podium, that you state your name and address, and that you limit your remarks to 3 minutes or less. So at this time, I'll ask if there's anyone present that would like to address the council this evening. All right, there doesn't appear to be anyone that would like to address the council. As always, we make ourselves available. We also give you this time to be able to do it publicly, but if you want to contact any of our council members or myself, we make ourselves available, and you can certainly speak with us most any time. Next item on the agenda is the approval of our minutes from our regular meeting of April the 1st. I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? All right, that carries unanimously. Item number 7 is our reaffirmation and ratification on second readings. Once again, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
All right,
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? That carries unanimously. Item number 8 is our consent agenda. I'll ask if there's any member of council or staff that would like to have any item removed from the consent agenda.
Move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on the consent agenda? There being none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? That carries unanimously as well. We only have one departmental report this evening. To introduce our departmental report, I'll turn it over to our city manager, Mr. Warren Wood.
Thank you, Mayor Guest, members of City Council, Ms. Setzer. The departmental report tonight from staff is consideration of amending the City Code of Ordinances by enacting a backflow prevention program for our water system. It will be presented by Public Utilities Director Will Hamlin.
Thank you, Mayor Guest, members of council, Ms. Setzer, Councilor Wood. Thanks for having me here tonight to discuss our exciting backflow prevention program ordinance. The objective of this ordinance, several of them, I'll summarize, but to protect the public water supply from actual or potential contamination or pollution from the customer side of the meter to prevent a backflow into the system. So it's our main objective. Objective number 2 is to eliminate or control cross connections, backflows and back siphonages from any other water source that then could come into the public water supply, and then also to provide a continuing inspection program, cross connection control, which will control actual or potential cross connections which may arise in the future. The North Carolina Building Code defines protection of the potable water supply. So potable water supply system shall be designed and installed as to prevent contamination from non-potable liquids, solids, or gases being introduced into the potable water supply. Connection shall be made to a potable water supply in a manner that could contaminate, connection shall not be made in a manner that would contaminate the water supply or provide a cross connection between the supply and the source of contamination, except when approved backflow prevention assembly, backflow prevention devices, or other means or methods are installed to protect the potable water supply. Cross connections between the individual water supply and the potable water supply shall be prohibited. And that last sentence would be potential would be a well system that a customer had and they got in the public water supply. That cross potential, that well pump kicks on, it could then pump into the public water supply. So a couple of definitions that we've discussed. First one being cross connection. That would be any physical connection between the public water supply system and any other source. That would include piping systems, sewer fixtures, containers, tanks, devices where other water or liquids, mixtures, or substances may flow into or enter the public water supply system. And then the issue is when a backflow occurs. That would be when the flow of any water, liquid, or gas or other substance flows into the distribution piping from an alternate source. So, causes of those backflows, two main causes. One would be the back siphonage, and that would be a reversible flow from the normal direction into the main due to a negative pressure or vacuum created. And those could be from a main break or a fire event where a bunch of fire hydrants are turned on and the pressure in the system drops, and then the pressure on the customer side of the meter is higher, it would flow back. The other one would be a back pressure event that's caused by a pump or a tank on the customer side where that pressure is higher than what's in our system and could flow into our system. So to prevent those backflow events, the first one is air gap, and that would be the unobstructed vertical distance between the source and the fixture. And a simple solution, or a simple example is, if you're filling up your pool, you drop your hose into the pool, that's a cross connection. So if you leave the hose a couple inches above the pool, you've now created that air gap where there's not a chance for it to come back into the system. The other one is a backflow prevention device, and there's several different types of devices depending on the level of hazard, but it allows flow through one direction in the pipe and not come backwards. So here's a graphic I borrowed from Cortez, Colorado, that had on their website. So hopefully y'all can see, but in this instance, there's a main breakout in the system. A couple of folks are working on it, but it caused a significant pressure drop in the system, and all the water in the buildings on the right-hand side, multiple story building, flowed back into the system, and the poor fellow on the left-hand side drew that water into his house, their house. So to prevent that, those entities on the right should have a backflow prevention device so that that does not flow back into the public water supply and then into another customer. So this ordinance has some, and most of the plumbing code defines this as well, but there's the onus on the customer for several responsibilities, and it's their responsibility to maintain and test their device annually, and its onus is on the customer also to eliminate the cross connection and protect against it. If there's a malfunction in their device, they're responsible to fix it, and any fees due to the testing, that is their responsibility. So far, everything we talked about is pretty much covered by the plumbing code. But the reason for adopting the ordinance is to give the utility department the right of enforcement and the right of entry to inspect these devices, the ability to issue corrective actions, levy fines if needed, hopefully not, but if it escalates to the point where we need to terminate service until the hazard is removed, this ordinance gives us the ability to do that to protect the public water supply. That was about it. Any questions?
And just to clarify, we already have a backflow prevention program. This is just putting it in our code of ordinances to give it more
Gives
teeth.
the authority to
So this program isn't new, but the ordinance, putting it in ordinance is what the action would be eventually.
So I got a question. So do I already have a backflow device at my residence? Because I don't know if I do or not.
You should have a single check valve in your meter setter, but these are intended for high and moderate risk entities, mostly restaurants, medical facilities.
So everybody doesn't have them?
Most residents should, but then irrigation taps, because there's potential for chemicals coming back through irrigation lines. So this is meant for more industrial and commercial uses. So that's what the ordinance is intended to keep up with.
I'm going to have to check mine and make sure I'm not in violation.
Yeah.
'Cause I've never checked it. I don't even know I have it. I didn't even know I had one.
You don't have a backflow preventer.
Oh, I
You've
don't
got
have
something
one.
else.
Okay, then I'm good.
So most businesses already have this?
Yes.
Okay.
If
It's
our
part of the building
backflow
code, the
coordinator.
plumbing code, you say?
Yep, our backflow coordinator put it well. It's like, if that business is using that water to do anything, it probably means they have to have a backflow preventer. If it's just a accounting business with bathrooms, that wouldn't trigger it, but if it's a industrial use, manufacturing something, a restaurant, because they have chemicals in their dishwashers that can come back, so there's most commercial businesses this would apply to.
Thank you.
Okay.
How about our bulk water customers? We sell water in bulk to Conover, different municipalities. Does that
Some of
affect
our-
that at all?
Yeah, some of our customers, they do have a they have a bulk meter, but also a backflow preventer at those connection points. And then, but they would also be responsible to enact their, follow the plumbing code and make sure their industrial users also have backflow devices.
Okay, all right, thank you.
We have about 350 or so that we keep track of now. So in our program, we're keeping track of annual inspections, but this just gives us some more jurisdiction to enforce it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, Will, I want to say, I believe this is your first time presenting.
I know. People are like, oh, you dressed up tonight. I should dress up a little more frequently and not be such a shock.
Yes, well, job well done. And thank you for working real close with me in the Ridgeview community as well. Certainly with potable water, it's our line of duty because it's really what we're supposed to do. And I mean, this is where, clean water we drink, bathe in, and other things that we use. So how often are there risk assessments that are conducted for potential hazards?
So when a permit's filed, that's one catch for if they're renovating a building, and then the inspector notices that if, we just had one on a vet building. It was just a commercial showroom, but a vet building was being installed, and the plumbing code, the inspector's reviewing it. They realized that that's a change of use, so it needs to be a backflow preventer installed now that that's now a medical facility with more hazards. So when permits filed, whether renovation or new construction, our annual inspections, now we don't perform the inspections, that's on the customer. They're supposed to do annual inspections, and they give us those test results, and we keep them in a database. So those are kind of the two triggers where, or if there's a suspected hazard, someone tattles on their neighbor because they think they're doing something bad, I guess we would then be allowed to enter that facility. But we don't do sampling per se. We do on our system, on the mains and distribution network, we don't sample inside customers' facilities.
The swimming pool example was an excellent example. I hadn't thought about that, the hose in the pool and it's siphoning back into the system. Is that publicized that we need to, have this air gap? How important is that?
It should be twice the diameter of the hose, so keep it a couple inches up. But this is why we're having the public hearing.
Right.
Everyone, all 40 of us know now not to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as I didn't. I had no clue.
Simple example.
It's in the record.
And cross connections are bad, but in normal operations, our system pressure is higher than that pool, so you're not. But it's until that backflow event happens that we're at risk.
Right. Interesting. Well, thank you so much. This was informative. Thank you.
Just like electricity, you don't miss it till it's not there.
Right. Exactly.
All right, any other questions for Mr. Hamilton? All right,
Thank you.
let's see, up next is appointments.
No, we need action, please.
Oh, we need action on that? Okay,
I move approval
okay.
Second.
I thought it was just a report.
for the way that the,
Motion to approve.
yeah.
We got a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? All right, that carries unanimously. All right, now we're for appointments to boards and commissions. Does anyone have any appointments they'd like to make this evening? None? All right. Any matters not on the agenda?
No, sir.
All right, general comments. I think I don't have anything particular this evening. Does anybody else have any general comments they'd like to bring forward?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to the, I believe, general manager of the Crawdads, Douglas, who certainly hosted us as city officials at the opening game, and I want to say thank you to him for allowing me to throw out the ceremonial first pitch.
That was your first time?
Yes, and I threw a strike.
Oh, well, now, wait a minute. We confirming that?
Yes, you can look it up.
All right.
On video.
I'm going to have to
I didn't
confirm
throw it
that.
in the dirt, as I hear. But, no,
I'll
and
ask your wife.
So they took real good care of us, and I want to say thank you to him. Also, on today, I want to congratulate the seniors across the 4 counties of Alexander, Cardwell, Catawba, and Burke. Today, I was afforded the opportunity to speak there at the Unifor Senior Games opening, and got to say what I always wanted to say, let the games begin. And so I wanted to congratulate all of our seniors, 50 and better, for the opening of the senior games.
Except for her. All of us except for Belinda.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to say, let the games begin and strike for your first time.
Absolutely. So I'm taking advantage of being Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, and I want to thank Mayor Pro Tem Freeman for filling in for me on those two occasions. I was unable to make either one of those, and he certainly did step up and fill in. And as everybody on the council has done at one time or the other, this is his turn, and I appreciate you doing that.
Oh, you were the starting pitcher, and he came in relief immediately.
I wasn't even on the bench.
Yeah.
But certainly from time to time, I need somebody to fill in, and he's done a great job at that, and I appreciate it. So, all right.
I do have one comment. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the Library Commission for all the work that they did in getting the Literary Festival together. And I've had the privilege of having a back seat to watching that unfold over the past year, because Laney is on that commission, and I've heard the conversations and how hard they've worked on that, and went out there Saturday, and it was a fantastic thing. I think that's something that will probably be an annual event going forward, because it was very enjoyable. So thank you to the staff and to the commission for all the hard work. That was fantastic.
All right.
Yeah, I got one thing. So the Visit North Carolina group was here last week. Oh, those are the tourism professionals from around us that Mandy Hildebrand. So there was over 500 plus tourism professionals here from around the state last week. And Hickory was honored to receive the Spirit of North Carolina award from that organization. And we had, the executive director is Whit Tuttle of North Carolina, Visit North Carolina, and the North Carolina Secretary of Commerce, Lee Lilly, was also there. So Brad Lell and myself accepted the award, him from the hotel side and me from the city. And I think there's a video that they're acknowledging the work that our community did to help others during the Helene relief efforts.
Honor these folks. Our first recipient is the community of Hickory. The community of Hickory exemplified the spirit of North Carolina by going beyond expectations and helping neighbors. Hundreds of groups and thousands of people joined together to keep housing people, serving those in need, providing water, and getting goods to the mountains quickly. The hotels in Hickory area became a base camp for emergency personnel, utility workers, doctors, nurses, and federal government organizations. Several of these organizations are still staying here at nearby hotels and assisting with the recovery efforts. And then the city of Hickory, their staff from all departments, worked to support other communities that were affected at a much greater than what Hickory was. The city provided 19 million gallons of water for areas impacted by Hurricane Helene. More than a dozen private companies transported that water to affected areas in western North Carolina. As the largest open airport in western DC that was still functioning and fully accessible by road after the storm, the Hickory Regional Airport served as a hub for coordinated rescue and recovery efforts for federal, state, and local officials. And the Hickory Metro Convention Center that we're in right now became a storage facility for local United Way as they received goods from all over the country. And the Visitors Bureau itself was the connector to everyone in the hospitality industry. So please join me in recognizing two members of the tourism board that both wear several hats. We've got Warren Wood, who's the city manager of Hickory, and Brad Lake.
So we accepted that on behalf of City Council and the citizens of Hickory. So it was nice we don't do it for the awards, but it was, if that storm was 20 miles further to the east, we would have been one of those getting help. So we're glad to do that.
And I did get to attend some of that, and I just want to commend Mandy and her entire staff. I got to meet a lot of those 500 plus people that were here visiting from all over North Carolina, and everybody that I ran into was really pleasantly surprised about not only what was going on at the Metro Trade Center, but the visits that they'd had throughout the communities, and they were very, very appreciative of everything and said that they enjoyed Hickory, and a lot of them, I'm sure, will come back and visit again. So it was a great event, and certainly Mandy's crew does a great job, when they welcome those folks to the city of Hickory. Some of the people, that's the only place they see is when they come to the convention center. For a convention, they don't really get out to see Hickory much, but they do a great job of promoting not just Hickory, but the surrounding area. So thank you, Mandy, for that.
I went, the City of Hickory won an Excellence in Communications Award, and I don't see Dana Kaminsky, but she is crucial to what we do in communications.
Sarah's
and
here,
so thank you very much.
Where's Sarah? Sarah's here. Oh, Sarah's all right. She's right on the front row.
Sarah, too.
Thank you.
All right. Any other accolades? Any other comments? All right. I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? That carries unanimously. Thank you for being here this evening.